Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava.
Jai.
Jai. But can you put the seat, the Mridanga on that too?
Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone for Wednesday morning. Our glorification, recitation. We'll start with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Nama Eva Kevalam Kalo Nasteva Gatiranyatha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhete Girim Yat Kripastam Vande Shri Guru Dinatarine Paramananda Madhav Krishna Chaitanya Ishwar. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter number 23, verse number 12, chapter 3, the status quo, and the chapter 12 titled as Devahuti's Lamentation. Maitreya Vacha प्रियाया प्रियम अन्विच्छन्
प्रियायां प्रियम् अन्विच्छन्
कर्दमो योगमास्थितः
कर्दमो योगमास्थितः
विमानं कामगं क्षत्तस् तर्ह्यो वावीरचीकरत् मैत्रेय उवाच प्रियाया प्रियम अन्विच्छन् कर्दमो योगमास्थितः
कर्दमो योगमास्थितः
विमानं कामगं क्षत्तस् तर्ह्यो वावीरचीकरत् मैत्रेय उवाच प्रियाया प्रियम अन्विच्छन्
प्रियायां प्रियम् अन्विच्छन्
कर्दमो योगमास्थितः
कर्दमो योगमास्थितः
विमानं कामगं क्षत्तस् तर्ह्यो वावीरचीकरत् मैत्रेयः the great sage Maitreya उवाच purport is later. Uvacha said, Priyayaha of this beloved wife. Priyam, the pleasure. Anvichan, seeking. Kardamaha, the sage Kardam. Yogam, yogic power. Asthitaha, exercised. Vimanam, an airplane. Kamagam, moving at will. Kshattaha, O Vidura. Tarhi, instantly. Eva, quite. Avi Rachi Karat. He produced. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charan Arvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Maitreya continued, O Vidur, seeking to please his beloved wife, the sage Kardam exercised his yogic power and instantly produced an aerial mansion that could travel at will. Purport. Here the words Yogam Asthitaha are significant. The sage Kardam was completely perfect in yoga. As the result of real yoga practice, there are 8 kinds of perfections. The yogi can become smaller than the smallest, greater than the greatest, or lighter than the lightest. He can achieve anything he likes. He can create even a planet. He can establish influence over anyone, etc. In this way, yogic perfection is achieved. And after this, one can achieve the perfection of spiritual life. Thus, it is not very wonderful for Kardam Muni to create a mansion in the air, according to his own desire to fulfill the desire of his beloved wife. He at once created the palace, which is described in the following verses. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So in here, as Srila Prabhupada mentions that yogam asthita are significant. But for us, practitioners of Bhakti Yoga, to be situated in Bhakti Yoga is very important and relevant, I should say. Because even in Bhagavad Gita, when Lord Shri Krishna mentions about different yogic processes, in Ashtanga Yoga, there are 8 limbs of yoga. And after describing all of that, he says it is very difficult to practice. There are different yugas where there are different processes are recommended. But ultimately, the goal for each of the process is bhakti. So imagine there's a 10-story, 15-story building, and we have to go from ground floor to the top floor, and there are different stairs available. And these stairs are considered to be this Ashtanga Yoga step ladder, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. Or you can say these 4 yugas have recommended processes in terms of Satya Yoga has a Dhyan, Dwapar Yoga has a deity worship, and the Treta Yoga had the yagnas, right? But by Srila Prabhupada's mercy and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy especially, we have this access to this lift. You just press of a button, you get to the top floor. So yoga mastita, or for bhakti yogi, bhakti yoga astita. We have to be situated in bhakti according to the process that recommended by Srila Prabhupada and Mahaprabhu and previous acharyas. Especially this sandwich program that we have, it is so amazing. I was talking to one devotee and he said, Prabhupada has prescribed this sandwich program, like especially morning program and reading Krishna book in the evening, and just being in the association of devotee, all the 9 limbs of the bhakti are kind of included. And he went ahead and explained each class. Morning our Mangalarti, then Tulsi Aarti, then 10 offenses, then like each one corresponds to a relative bhakti yoga process. And just by living in that association is like Atma Nivedan. You're trying to surrender to the best of your ability and trying to share this knowledge with others, which kind of, if you live this lifestyle, that is the automatic byproduct. As our predecessor acharyas and even contemporary acharyas, like Vaisheshika Maharaj, he very much, encourages devotees to kind of share this knowledge, because sharing this knowledge is pleasing to Srila Prabhupada the most, Mahaprabhu the most. And even in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna says that nobody is more dear to me, one who shares. And sharing is what? Of course, Srila Prabhupada would have somebody who is just recently joined, would say, go sit on the Bhagavatam and share what you know. So that is one aspect. But at the same time, he also said, and I have heard from other sannyasis also, you are out there doing book distribution or sharing, and they would just joke and they say, you are telling me to read this book. Have you read it? Did you take time to read it? So it is important for us, those who are trying to do some service, inculcate this mood of trying to know Srila Prabhupada more. To know Srila Prabhupada more is, he's in his books. We are lamenting that we were not there with Srila Prabhupada. But I really, feel that in due course of time, people will feel that same way about Prabhupada or our current acharyas. Few centuries down the road or few generations, they'll also make, oh, Prabhupada, this cannot be possible. What Prabhupada did is not possible. There must be some other theory around it, but people will come with all kinds of theories. So we really need to take the advantage, and as in the realm of infinity, it's just 500 years. Prabhupada just 50 years. I mean, if we think this is so marvelous and amazing good fortune of ours that we are able to associate with those who are so sincere in this process of bhakti. Sharing Krishna consciousness is actually the overflow from your sadhana. This is the sentence from many senior devotees that I have heard. And you don't have to make any extra endeavor to share Krishna consciousness if your sadhana is strong, if you yourself are enjoying the process. Because if you see, I have had a good fortune of being close to many senior devotees. If you see their lifestyle or study, just observe their day-to-day activity, not a moment is passed when they're engaged or they're engaging someone else. Like Vaisheshika Prabhu, he would have always, when he's driving, he will have always some cookies or something with him, and will always, while he has this is his amazing, I was just looking at one of the Facebook videos, and he has this amazing way of encouraging kids. So he's walking, and then if he gives a straight look to somebody, that means that person has to say some verse, some shloka. And then that person finishes, and then he looks at someone else, and then looks at someone else. Like that, they are just reciting shlokas, even while walking. They are on book distribution, door to door. So this is like how one would come up with this kind of amazing things. It amazes you, but that only comes when Paramatma or Krishna inspires you from within, that how to utilize every single second in his service. Here in the shloka, coming back to when with his the mention he created just by his will, and that mention that is created also can travel with his own will, right? Like he can decide to go some places, and then Mother Devuti does take advantage of that, availability or possibility very much so. We'll hear more about it in the next few verses and how they travel one place to the other. But I was just thinking, as Prabhupada mentions here, like that is not so amazing, because there are individuals who can just create the whole planet. What to speak of just a small mention? I mean, we call it small, but it is almost a city. But that is not so marvelous. Because why? Because ante 8.4 million species. If you did not perfect, if you did not serve the Lord and cultivate the desire to serve the Lord, then 8.4 million species. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. Yah sansare khalu dustare, kripaya pahe pahe mura. So, if we don't, of course, for the devotees, protection is there. Neha vikramanasosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam vipasya dharmasya trayate mahato vaya. Even smallest of the endeavor on this path will take you out of the biggest danger. Now, what is the biggest danger? Is to lose what we have and not get we want. Not get we want is something that I don't have it, but something that I have it in my possession, and if I have to lose, that is the biggest danger. And not knowing the destination is also a bigger, danger. So, for us practicing bhakti yogis or trying to practice bhakti yoga, we really need to take our process very seriously, because time is running out, and I can speak for myself that there is no seriousness, there is no fire. And I was talking to one devotee the other day. Time is passing. I'm seeing people living, body and going through miseries. But I somehow or the other, I'm sitting on a cold ice. Oh, nothing is going to happen to me. That is my condition. I'm just fine. The seriousness is not there. The fire to share Krishna consciousness is not there. And even to advance complacency and lethargy, full of it. If somebody tells me some service, then I always want to look for, can I delegate this to somebody else? Is there someone else I can, engage? Because I'm around for 20 years plus years, so they shouldn't be saying this to me. That is my mood. I'm always contemplating on this. If there's some service going on, then I want to okay, there are enough people, or if I go there, I'll be engaged, and then next, I'll just my mind starts working like that. How to excuse myself from service? I want to be just honest with you all. So that is not going to get me anywhere. If I'm serious, I have to put, in English, there is a nice saying, put your money where your mouth is. So that means money means energy, resources, time. And the most important thing is time. Only thing that is what we have. We went to see one family who lost their son, and how Krishna inspires you to speak. Also this is great service, and I encourage everyone to take up this in whatever little way you can, to share Krishna consciousness, be part of Bhagavatam recitation or reading, because it questions your own, psyche or the way you are living. You're saying it to them. Are you really doing it? So the other day I was there, and the 14-year-old boy left, and I was trying to console them. I said, there is nothing that I can say or do will console you, because you are 14-year-old child. They're almost in their 40s or early 50s, the parents. And I was there is nothing that will help you, but all of us are given 24 hours, and you can consider, multiply and do seconds. That time, that is the only thing that we have. And according to the scriptures, not even by time, the amount of breaths that we have. And in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna mentions that Uddhvam Gacchati Sat. What is this? What's Prabhu? When you spend more breathing in mode of goodness, you go to the higher planetary system. If you are in the mode of passion, you stay here. And then if you do it in the mode of ignorance, you would degrade or get the consciousness that is not in the like suitable for mode of passion, and go into more ignorance, or more of a covered consciousness you would get. So again, I take this opportunity to beg forgiveness and I beg blessings from all of you that I can become more serious in my sadhana. And I would also wish you all the best for doing the same, because we need each other. That is what this process is, of sharing Krishna consciousness, practicing Krishna consciousness. And I heard, even if you don't feel enthusiastic, act enthusiastic, because that would inspire others. Gaurang Prabhu always says, and I've heard, like, what happens in the association is that you get the desire to serve. You see devotees doing amazing things, you feel being part of them, you feel how I can assist, or in whatever small way. That is what the miracle of Bhakti Yoga and association. I'd like to end here. Thank you again for the opportunity to glorify. I have no qualification or realization to share anything, just repeating as a parrot. And please forgive me if I said anything. Please correct me. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Thank गौर प्रेमानंद हरे हरे गौर।
Anyone has any question on Zoom?
No questions, Prabhuji, but I'm also in the same boat, Prabhuji. So many things going around, but I'm happily enjoying my time, that it's not touching me like that. I don't know when I'm going to get out of that. I'm praying to the Lord sincerely, Prabhuji. Please bless me so I can reach that level. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
I have a question. So, Prabhuji, we hear in like today's verse about Karda Muni like creating a mansion for his wife. So, question comes is to the form of discussion that some devotees have a desire to engage Lord Singh in Krishna service, like lot of money. So may have desires that I want to do this, I want to do that. So what is the qualification to do it actually and not become entangled in unnecessarily enjoying, instead of like you want to offer it to Krishna only, that's the only goal. But then in the process of offering to Krishna, you kind of tend to enjoy. Like it's natural, right? If someone thinks that, oh, may I live in a very nice, opulent house or ashram, then yes, I mean, use it for Krishna service, but at the same time, also tend to enjoy also. So both things are there. So how to only engage in something Krishna service and not enjoy it at all?
I'm the last person actually to comment on this, because I am that person who is kind of making everything as a yukta vairagya and not having any vairagya towards anything. But since for the sake of discussion and what I have heard is Shama eva hi kevalam. Things that you are doing is ultimately not pleasing to Lord Vishnu or Krishna. It is just endeavor. It really has no spiritual value, so to speak. So as we hear also Atyahara Prayashastra, right? Of course, we need to have resources to live our life peacefully, to practice bhakti. But one has to have adhikar, or one has to see that social structure. If I'm already having inheritance of millions of dollars, obviously, I would, if I become devotee, then I would want to utilize it into Krishna's service and expand my business, and so they can have more and more money. But as I said earlier, we all have the lifespan, or the number of breaths are very limited in one sense. So we should utilize them in a way that return on investment, right? This principle we have heard, ROI. So if I have limited amount of time, and the time management also tells you what are the most important things, you put that in the jar first. Otherwise, if you fill it up with the sand, then the big rocks cannot go in. So I think those two principles are important for us to know what is really important in our life. Because if I spend 24 hours, 8 hours going to sleep, 16 hours remaining, in 16 hours, if I don't prioritize my spiritual activities, then it doesn't matter how much money I have. We are not going to be able to justify our efforts. But at the same time, the desires to have more and more in the name of pleasing Krishna, but we have to see this question is very genuine, and it can only be answered with introspection. That's what my understanding is. That one has to see their own individual situation, and it is so important to have a mentor or a friend or somebody whom you can go to, that am I really doing what I'm supposed to do? I'm at this XYZ age and these are my plans. Of course, when you do meditation, you especially spoke about devotees. So we, in the time of our chanting, we have to pray that, and basically mantra is a form of a prayer, right? It is basically saying, Krishna, please engage me, please give me the direction. So maybe I'm going in so many different directions, but to have that clarity of what is the priority and how I can engage myself so that I'm doing only what is pleasing to Krishna. That is the guiding principle. Because mind is such a monkey that will justify anything and everything when it comes to spirituality. What to speak of Lord Brahma going after his own daughter, or so many other things that we see. Mind is such a way, it kind of justifies everything and anything. Otherwise, how in the world Lord Ramchandra's wife, this Pandit Ravan, who is the knower of all the Vedas, Lord Shiva's best devotee, could even think or fathom of doing such heinous act of kidnapping Mother Sita. So mind is such a rascal. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's famous quote that hit it with the boots and brooms every single day in the morning. And I'm the one who is never doing that. But so we really need to check the guiding principle, Krishner Madirastu, how we can engage our mind. And it is simple. Why? I mean, amazing small sentences like higher taste. Just that two words, higher taste, kind of encompasses all of our philosophy. If you see it very closely, until you develop the higher taste, engage yourself in Krishna, the lower modes will attract you. So the only way to get out of that vicious cycle is to engage yourself. I was just listening to somebody in Hindi. He was saying, go, आप जाओ कहीं और अपने आप को फंसा दो. मतलब क्या? You engage yourself, even if you don't know, even if you think you are not qualified, but just take up the service, because the taking up the service will occupy you so much. So since morning I woke up, I have this anxiety that I have to go and speak something relevant, that people don't start saying, what are you speaking? Why are you sitting there? You know, I was always, so this is the right anxiety. This is the right kind of anxiety that one would want to be in. So that it's like a genie. Mind is like a genie. You know, in Gujarati we say, "Lad ka to ladna ra," meaning you fight with me or you give me somebody to fight with. That is mine. You know, you fight with me, meaning you engage me. Otherwise, you give me somebody else to fight with, meaning Maya. Get engaged into Krishna's service with your own will, or I will make sure that I might fight with somebody. So I'll bring you to some place where you don't want to be. You know, so that is the our conditioning. I mean, I'm speaking for myself. I'm seeing so many exalted devotees all around, and especially doing so much of sacrifice and serving Radha Gopijana Vallabh so wonderfully. It is one of the unique, congregations where we have so much love. Actually, I can see with starting with Yugal Kishore Prabhuji and all the temple residents, and we feel really like a family. I mean, I must say, it is like a family. So again, thank you all. I hope I kind of tried to share what I felt, but please, anyone else would like to add to Prabhu's question, most welcome. Thank you.
Anyone has anything else on that? Okay, we will end.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Vacha kalpata.
Rupescha Kripasindhubhyo cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo.
His grace, Krishna Prabhu ki
Jai.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.